everyone, it's me, Krista. Welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. If not, welcome for the very first time to my little art corner here on YouTube. Today I'm playing around with the Paletteful Packs Box that we got for December 2020. For this project, I am using the smallest canvas board, which happens to be 5x7. I had this idea for a project for a little while, which is going to be an anatomical heart with a sprout growing out of it. I didn't use any pencil or marker or anything like that for the sketch. I just went in with the yellow paint and sketched it in that way. Then I filled in the background. Next, I filled in the red part of the heart, and after that red is in, I start going in with the blue right on top of the red and blending the two together to get a bit of shading going on very quickly. For most of the project, I am using that Robert Simmons brush that we got in the Paletteful Packs box. I do end up pulling in a couple of other brushes just for some minor parts. I brought in a Prima White Gold Round 6300 brush in size 10 to help blend out certain areas. I just kept it dried and really dip it in paint, but I used it to blend out areas of paint that I already had laid down on the canvas board. I also pull in a little detail brush that I'm pretty sure I got in a detail brush pack on Amazon. Just some nice little cheap brushes there. I use the palette knives for the most part for blending on my little palette that you can see in frame there, but I also end up using it for the background much later. I did really enjoy the brush that we got in this box here, that Robert Simmons size 12 brush. It's pretty awesome. I was actually surprised with the amount of control I had over it because I was a little worried because of how long the brush is, that my tiny hands, being as clumsy as they can be, that they wouldn't be able to hold it correctly or be able to get a lot of control for certain lines like I did with the white highlights here, but it ended up working out really well. I like this brush a lot. I also really enjoyed using the golden paints and the gloss medium. Those also worked really well. Gloss medium was really nice for thinning down the colors quite a bit and helping them flow a little bit more easily. My preference with acrylic paint is I always tend to prefer to have a heavier body. I would always prefer to thin down a paint than have to layer it a bunch in order to get any pigment out of it. For this painting, I really wanted to maintain the brightness of those colors and get a lot of contrast going. I tend to prefer a more illustrative quality to my work than a realistic one, just because I have way more fun playing around with colors. I mix some of the colors on the palette, but for the most part I tend to blend and mix colors on the canvas itself. With acrylic paint, I prefer to do it this way because it does dry so darn quickly that I would rather it be set on that canvas, let it dry, and then layer on top of it later. I do want to point out that I did not pull in any black at all into this painting. The darkest parts are going to be that blue, and I am using it to get a lot of line work done. Use it for a main outline of the entire thing itself, and I also use it for a lot of veins and texturing within the heart. I had a bunch of fun doing this painting. I always love painting hearts. If you've looked through the different paintings I've done throughout the years, there are quite a few little heart ones in there. And I tend to like to draw things going through them or growing out of them. A long time ago I had a dream that had to deal with relationships, and it was basically about planting a seed in the ground from two people and it growing together and a tree growing and different branches growing out of it. In the dream, the seed was inside of a heart, and for some reason that has stuck with me even a decade later. And it's an idea I just like revisiting every couple years. For this project, I did want to make sure that I pulled in the palette knives somewhere. In the earlier stages of the painting, I do attempt to use them to put in some of the lines for the veins in the heart and to apply a color at the very beginning. It didn't work out so great doing that. I was able to use it to help peel back certain layers of paint. Like if I overpainted on a line, pull that palette knife out, could scrape it back. They're great for doing that. The one that's shaped like a butter knife was also really great for cleaning off my palette here. Originally I was planning on leaving the background that plain yellow that we put down at the beginning, but I decided later to pull in the palette knife with the other colors that were used throughout the painting in order to create some interesting texture work for that background. The great thing about heavy body acrylic paints is you can play around with it and get a bunch of different textures going on. If you do add a bunch of layers while it's still wet though, I do want to let you know it is going to take a little bit to dry. At this point in the painting, I decided I wanted to add another leaf, and I decided to start making some texture in the background using just the yellow paint. Then I use a couple of different palette knives to pull some red into that background. I jumped then between the yellow and the red, and at the very end of that background work, I decided to pull in some of the dark blue. Overall, I really enjoyed the December 2020 Paletteful Packs box. I look forward to using all of the items that came inside in future projects, and I'm sure I will use these. These acrylic paints are going to work great with the Liquitex ones I have. I also really enjoyed the process of painting this project. It's one of my favorites that I've done in a while. But with that, this project and therefore this video are pretty much done. If you liked it, please hit that like button. If you have any comments, questions, feelings, concerns, or you've used any of the items in this month's box, let me know all about that in that comment section down below. If you want to see more videos like this, please feel free to subscribe. I do Paletteful Packs unboxings and projects once a month. As always, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day or night to watch this video and listen to me ramble. I greatly appreciate it. I look forward to hearing from you guys soon, and you'll definitely be hearing from me soon. Bye, everybody!